Okay, now guys, quiet please. We're starting. All right. So the main concern now is that if you had any questions, all right, if you had any questions. So I'm not even sure what one did I ask you to do.
The second one.
This right here.
Yeah.
Right. So let's look up here and see how you're doing. All right. Did I ask you to do all of these problems with the odds or something?
No, just 5 to 23.
All right, 5 through 23. So now just look up there real quick and check 5, 9, 11. Those are the ones that I have done. All right, and your job is when you check them, if you got them right, then you're in pretty good shape. All right, if you got 5 right, that probably means you got 7 right. Although I don't mind reviewing if you need to. All right, so there's 5, 9, 11. All right.
Oh, 13 I got.
No, 13's not up there.
Wait, is 13
11, guys, 11 is just done 2 ways. All right, somebody asked me a question about it. All right, so it's just done 2 ways. All right, so there is no answer to 13 and 15.
Okay.
All right, now what I'd like to do is I'd like to just go ahead and talk about 7 real quick just to make sure. All right, just to make sure. So remember, your slope is y minus y. Now what I try to teach kids is that you want to try to keep it positive. So what I did was 8 plus 4 over 4 minus 7. Is everybody happy with that? So that is 12 over negative 3, which is negative 4. Right? Everybody good?
I keep getting negative 1.
Okay. Now, let's take a look at 13. Now, 13, I want you to start recognizing that the x values are the same. So it's going to be 5 over 0, which is undefined, which means it is a vertical line. All right, which means it's a vertical line. Double check yourself now, please. All right. Now, the one I really want to concentrate on is the fractions. All right, so let's see. I have 4/3 minus 2/3, which is 2/3, right? So I did 4/3 minus 2/3, and then I did 7/3 minus negative 1/3, which is 7/3 plus 1/3, which is what?
8/3.
8/3.
And then you times the
Right.
reciprocal.
Now on here, you could say that's the same as 2/3 divided by 8/3, which again, she is correct. 2/3 times the reciprocal, 3/8, and we all should just look at that and say that's just 1/4.
Wait, I got it.
Hold on. Correct yourself. Don't tell me what you think the answer is. All right? Look up there on the board and make your own correction if you need to. All right? Now, again, I shouldn't have to reduce fractions for you, right? 3's cancel. That's a 1 and that's a 4. All right? 1 times 1 is 1. And 1 times 4 is 4. All right? Now, let's see how you did on finding the x or finding the y. All right? Finding the x or finding the y. All right? Now, everybody take a look at 17. If you got 17, r equals 4, you're in pretty good shape. All right? It doesn't matter what you got, right? It matters what's on the board. That's the right answer. So if you didn't get that, what you should be doing is you should be looking at my notes, trying to figure out where the difference is. All right? You're trying to find out where the difference is. 5 minus 3 is 2. R plus 4 equals 1/4. And then, of course, we cross multiply. Anybody have any issues with that? All right. Here we go. Now, on 19, again, on 19, what I like to do is I like to try to keep the variables, right, positive. So what I did was I did r minus 3 over negative 5 minus 1. Well, I know what negative 5 minus 1 is, and you do too. So it's okay to just say over negative 6 equals 7/6. Does anybody have any issues with that? All right. Now what we're doing is we're cross multiplying. Now, let me go ahead and just go back to this point right here just to make sure everybody's hearing me. Right? Does everybody see that when you cross multiply? Now, instead of distributing a 6, you can do what? Divide by 6 because 42 divides by 6 evenly. Is everybody good with that? And so we would end up with r minus 3 is equal to negative 7, right? And you add 3, so r is equal to what? Negative 4. Everybody good with that, guys? Or I agree with you. I don't think that's that hard. Not hard at all. All right, now take a look at 21 and 23, and then we'll get busy. I'm going to kind of eliminate 23 because I kind of want to talk about that. Right? But 21 should have been pretty good, right?
I got
All right, 21 is good. All right, now I want to take a look closely at 23.
you said r minus 3. And, oh, wait, no, I'm sorry.
All right. Now, if your slope is 0, that means you have a horizontal line, correct? Right? That means you didn't go up any. Right? So the y minus y must equal 0. Do you agree? Which means the y values have to be the same. So what is r? Obviously, positive 2, right?
Oh, no,
Right. It has to be 2. R has to be 2. Is everybody with me on this? Right? So if you have a vertical line, all right, if you have a vertical line, we say that the x's have to be equal. You with me? If you have a horizontal line or a slope that's 0, the y's have to be equal. Is everybody good with that explanation? All right. Any questions? All right. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. Yes.
I went back to why is the r minus 2 negative 8 plus 7? I thought it was negative.
It was, but they were both negative, right?
Yes.
You see what I'm saying, right? So something to help me out was when I had 2 negatives, it was easier for me to change. You good on that? Okay, so guys, now what I want you to do is I want everybody to flip over, or I want everybody to download worksheet 3-4. All right, it's not difficult. 3-4 is not difficult. So load that up for me, and then we will talk about it.
This is when I was taking the quiz at my house. My sister saw me, and she was very upset with me. No, because he spelled my last name wrong.
R-O-U-C-H.
Another mistake.
What is it?
It's R-O-U.
Oh, dang it.
He made another mistake. I had to
Dang.
mess up on him. She
Oh,
wanted to like mark it
man.
up with a red marker.
Oh, that is so sad. That was bad. Tell her it'll never happen again. I learn something every day.
Well, this tutor now had me for 4 years straight, and she couldn't spell my name in 4th grade. So.
All right, here we go. Now, let's go ahead now and pull this up so I can kind of show you something. All right. Again, very, very, very easy. But you still just have to understand the vocabulary. So listen, I need your attention. All right. Now, what I do is, part of the reason why I like putting the study guide in here is because if you ever have questions, you can go back and get someone else's opinion about how to do it. Does everybody agree with me on that? All right. So if you get confused, you kind of look at what they did. All right. Most of the time, it's exactly what I do, but sometimes we do it a little bit differently. So here's what I need for you to do, guys. All right. We have something called direct variation. And basically what that means is when the x goes up, the what? The y goes up. And when the x goes down, the y goes down. That's a direct relationship. Later on, we're going to talk about inverse relationships, which probably means when x goes up, y goes down, or when x goes down, y goes up. All right? That's what an inverse variation is. All right? But right now, I want you to concentrate on this, please. This is how we say this. We say that y varies directly as x. All right? Now, the equation, when they say that, is always y equals kx. It's always y equals kx. All right? Now, yesterday, if you remember, we said something along this lines. Y equals mx plus b. Today, it's just a little bit easier because b is always what? 0. Today, b is always 0. So does everybody understand that y equals mx is almost the same as y equals what? Kx. So the k is called a constant, and the slope is also a constant. All right? It's just a different description of a particular type of graph. All right? This type of graph is called something that is directly related, all right, or varies directly. Now, what I also want you to do is to know that k simply stands for a constant. K simply stands for a constant. Now, I agree, I think they should have used what? C. C. I'm not real sure why they didn't use C, except for the fact that C is a famous variable in an equation, E equals mc squared, right? And C stands for, does anybody know? C is what I was thinking, cookie, but no, it is the speed of light. It is the speed of light. That's what that stands for. But anyway, in this case, I also want you to look at it and say y equals kx. Then I want you to realize that k is always equal to what? K is always equal to y over x. Now, how do we know that? Because we're just solving it for k. So in order to solve for k, how do I do multiplication? Division. So I have k equals y over x. Does anybody have any questions with that? All right. Now, what does y over x actually look like from yesterday? What does y over x actually look like? Tell me.
It's like the y1 and y2.
Yeah, so what do we say that is? It is the slope. It kind of looks like that. All right. Now, this actually, believe it or not, is going to be the slope. The reason why it's going to be the slope is because every line that is directly related will go through the point 0, 0. All right? They will always pass through the point 0, 0. So believe it or not, the constant is always going to be the slope. The constant is always going to be the slope. All right? Now, what I want to do is I want to kind of jump down now. I want to skip their examples and jump right into it here. All right? It says here, name the constant of variation for each equation. Then determine the slope of the line that passes through the pair of points. So here's what we're going to do. All right? What I want you to do now is pretend like we're where we were yesterday. All right? And I'm finding the slope from here to here. All right? So what am I doing? I'm going down what? Yes. So that's -2, and then to the right what? 1. So you would say my slope is what? -2 over 1, which is the same as what? which is the same as negative 2. Is everybody okay with that? Right? So the slope is negative 2. Now, after I was looking at this, I was thought, wow, this is kind of silly, because from yesterday's note, they're actually giving us what? Look up so you can see. They're giving us the answer. I don't know why. I guess they're feeling generous today. But that's the graph of y equals negative 2x. So what is the constant also? Constant is also what? Negative 2. Because I just told you the constant and slope are exactly what? The same. All right? This is a special relationship, and the relationship has to be that the y-intercept is 0. All right? Is everybody good with that? All right? So now that you understand that pretty well, I want you to look over here. And without any further problems, we can just say that our slope is what? Our slope is 3. Because why? They gave us the answer.
This is too hard.
They gave us the answer. Yes, I'm agreeing with you. Now, just to be sure, though, right, just to be sure, to double check them to see if they're not tricking us, we would say I went up what? 3 and over, and that's my slope. Does everybody agree with that?
Wait,
I'm listening quickly.
how do you know that you don't go down and connect it? Like,
If you go down 3 and to the left 1, that's exactly the same as going up 3 and to the right 1. All right? Is everybody happy with that explanation now? All right? But as I told you yesterday, it's much better if you start at what? The left point. Is everybody good with that? You understand me? All right? So again, number 3, just to beat a dead horse here, right? The answer is what? Hey, what's the slope? 3 over 2, because it already tells us, right? So really, k is 3 over 2, and don't forget, k is the same as the slope. So that's the point. All right, they're trying to drill that into your head. All right? Now, from there, all right, from there, we're going to go down a little bit. All right? And now it says, suppose y varies directly as x. You're going to write an equation that relates x to y. All right? Now, again, what did I say k was always? What did I say k was? Thank you. The what? K is always y divided by x. So in question number 4, what is k? Everybody should be telling me. K is obviously 2, right? So I want everybody on this, I want everybody to put 4 over 2, which is 2. Everybody happy with that? Now, it says write the equation. So the equation is obviously y equals 2x. Anybody have any questions with that? I'm agreeing with you, it's super easy. Now that we have the equation, we have to answer the question. And the question is, find y when x is 16. Now, some people last class blew it here. I'm asking you, if x is 16, what is y? 32. I don't know how anybody missed that. Does everybody see what I'm saying? It's telling you that x is 16. You got to find the y. And from there, we said y is what? 32. Now, again, I'm telling you, I'm agreeing with you completely. It's simple. All right? So now I'm looking at question number 5. I want everybody to tell me that k is equal to what? K is equal to -3. Beautiful. All right? And now, if k is -3, my equation is y equals, say it, y equals, come on guys, y equals -3x. Everybody good with that? All right, now what? Now, it's asking you to find x when y is 6. So now where I see y, I put what? I put 6 equals -3x. So obviously, x equals -2. That is the correct answer. So x equals -2. See, you have to make sure you answer the right question. You have to always make sure that you answer the right question. If you don't answer the right question, all right, it's easy to make a careless mistake. Go back and read carefully. Go back and read carefully. All right? So again, this was the answer to question number 5. All right? That was the answer to number 5. All right? So now I'm just going to carry on. Now listen, they're trying to see how good you are with your skills as far as your decimal goes and as your fractions go. So give me 30 seconds. I want everybody to tell me the equation for question number 6, preferably without a calculator. Now, 4.8 divided by 1.6 is obviously the same as 48 divided by what? 16. Don't worry about the decimal. All right, and what is 48 divided by 16? 3. Are they both negative?
Yes.
So that means your constant is? So you should have quickly k equals 3, which means your equation is y equals 3x. Beautiful. And if y is equal to 3x, you're supposed to find x when y is negative 24. And so if y is negative 24, then x had to have been? All right, we are amazing. All right, that is question number 6. All right, now I'm really interested in those of you guys who are practicing your mental math with your fractions now. Mental math with fractions. All right, so I want you to think carefully now before you say something. Don't embarrass me. All right, you're supposed to already know your fractions. So if I tell you that k is equal to, you would easily be able to tell me now. Don't embarrass me and think about it before you say something incorrectly. K is 2. 2. Is everybody happy with that? 2. Now how do we get 2? Because it's 1/4 divided by 1/8, which is the same as 1/4 times the reciprocal, 1/4 times 8, or 8 divided by 4, which is 2. Everybody, that should be just simple for you. That should be simple. Now again, if it's not simple, now you're just asking me, come on, help me through my fractions again, review with me. I don't mind, because I want you to be great at mental math. Everybody okay with that being 2? All right, so k is 2. So if k is 2, my equation will be what? Y equals 2x. Now again, don't embarrass me with your fractions. Find x if y is 3/16. So that would be? Thank you very much. All right, x is equal to 3/32. Does anybody need help with those fractions?
I can't do those in my head.
Yes, you can, because you're doing this. You're saying to yourself, self, 3/16 divided by 2 is the same as 3/16 times 1/2. You with me? So 3/16 times 1/2 is the same as 3/16 times 2, which is 3/32. All right? Practice. I mean it. You got to practice. I want you to be able to do mental math with fractions. All right? Anybody have any questions? All right. Now, listen. This is another, if you want, you can kind of look at that, but I told my other class, don't worry about it. I feel pretty good. All right? I feel pretty good about the lesson today. One of them is a word problem, but I think I don't need to explain that to you. So here's your assignments. The only thing you have to do today is this page, 1 through 14. You don't have to do the word problem page. Just do 1 through 14. Now listen, you're going to get to a word problem, and let's say for some crazy reason you go, man, I really don't understand it for some reason, right? Then you can go back and you can go, look, they gave me a few questions with word problems up here. Does everybody see what I'm saying? If you get confused, I'm trying to teach you, go back and read something. All right, go back and read something. All right, is everybody good with that? All right, so we have how much more time? Yeah, 15 minutes. So you should be able to, if you're working steadily, to go ahead and knock out this homework. All right, then tomorrow we'll have a quiz. And by the way, not tomorrow, but Friday we'll have the quiz. Tomorrow, what I was trying to say was, I'm going to now put in the review, because I've got the review ready for you. If you get done with tonight's homework and you just want to say, look, I want to make 100 on my next test, I'd like to study early, the review will be in there for you, okay? All right, so if you want to do that, you can. Thank you very much.